So, welcome back to the N2 Continuum broadcast channel. Today, I'm joined by Rachel, a seraphim angelic communicator, evidential medium, and galactic liaison whose journey began with a near-death experience at just 4 years old, opening her connection to angels, spirit, and the divine. Rachel, floor is yours. Wherever you want to begin. I have some good questions here, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you so
yeah,
much for having me on your program. I'm honored. Thanks so much for thinking of me.
yeah, you got it.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I'm
What do
really
you talk about?
interested. Well, I mean, you can start with your childhood. Like, where did all this begin? You're aware of yourself as being an angel. And yeah.
Yeah.
And I got into QHHT
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah, and I haven't done like hundreds of people. I've probably done maybe 30. And out of
That's
all of them, like a couple of them were actual angels. And
yeah, isn't that wild?
some of them were in my family. So,
Wow.
and
Is there a part of you when that's going on? Is there a part of you that's like, what? Come on. Is
you
that
know,
possible?
I mean, like when I was getting into QHHT, I was not into all this spiritual stuff. I was really into aliens and watching Ancient Aliens and all that kind of stuff. And
Hmm. Oh, I
um,
love that guy.
oh, yeah, I mean, it's so I felt like there was a long time in my life, like going to church with my family and like, what's the connection here between the ETs and the spiritual? There's got to be a
Yes.
connection. They're not talking about it.
Yes.
And then when
Yes.
Ancient Aliens came around, that connection started to get pieced together for me. And
Yeah.
so, and then getting into QHHT and in Dolores Cannon's work, it just solidified it. And then actually experiencing it for myself, putting people under and having these conversations with these beings that are actually right here with us, right? It's
Yes.
in and yeah, and when I came across those that were angels, like I was like, that's really crazy. Like, am I talking to a real angel? And I guess that's because I put angels on like a pedestal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but the more I got into QHHT, I was like, there is no pedestal because all of us are these amazing beings.
We're all
And
equal.
yeah, and that's actually like one thing I tell people is you're freaking amazing, dude. Like you
Yeah.
don't even know it right now, but you are gonna know it one day. You're gonna
That's
remember
why we're here.
everything. Yeah, that's why
We're
we're
here
doing
to
this right now.
remember.
Yeah, we're here to
Yeah.
remember. So like, so what is it like for you right now in your daily life? Do you remember all of that? Do you remember?
Well, I really like I really like what you said because when I was growing up, I'll get to that question about what it's like for me now. But when I was growing up, I didn't know any different. I mean, I was just a little kid who was being a weird little kid and also learning my letters and numbers and shapes and stuff. And also I like like every kid, I believe, had spidey senses. I mean, I can see spirit or sense spirit. Every person has that ability to some degree. And then, some people are better at running or math. We all have our intuitive senses. Mine came out more, seeing energy around trees, understanding what animals were thinking, and also I could see people who had passed and I could see angelic beings. I just wasn't really defining what they were because I didn't know any better. I didn't know any different. It wasn't until I was older and being around other children more at elementary school, etc., that when I was then talking to these dead people and other people were like, what are you doing? And I thought, oh, I'm having a realization that I'm different. It was then that I was like pulling it apart and saying, oh, I need to fit in better here. But when I had my first near-death experience at age 4, my family was in a car accident, and these angelic beings that I had been seeing, who had been presenting themselves looking like Bible angels, because I was being raised Catholic at that time. So that's how they appeared, because I was a little
Okay.
girl. So, wings and halos and stuff. Well, they took me back to the dimension that I was calling the heavenly realm. Made sense to me. And they said, "Hey, listen, Rachel, this is actually where you are from." And they gave me a tour. They took me on a little field trip. And I was both a 4-year-old and also my higher consciousness, which I didn't really understand at that time. But see, that's really important to know, because I was with my grown up voice, is how they told it to me. This
Mm,
voice you're hearing.
yeah.
And that's why I remember it so well, because I wasn't just 4, I was with my higher self.
Mm,
Probably the same consciousness that comes in the QHHT sessions, I'm guessing,
yeah.
that we're navigating with. So that's my first hearing that I was an angel. And something they told me was, "Hey, we love you, but we got to tell you, you're not special. Everybody on earth is from somewhere. There's no
Yeah.
humans there." And that was really cool. And so they showed me around. They showed me why I was there, why I'm on earth. They showed me some things about what was going to happen with earth, what was going to happen in my life, all that stuff. And then I was ultimately given a choice to stay or go, stay there and do my mission, or come back. I didn't make a choice. Then I did not make a choice, I don't think, to come back, because what I remember happening was I remembered my mom and I didn't want to make her sad. And then I was back in my body. So from that point onward, my gifts were amplified. I've had more near death experiences, and every time I've come back, or I've gone back to the heavenly realm through transcendental meditation, plant medicine, daily meditations, whether that's prayer, astral projection, however I want to do it, vibrates, changing my vibration. Well, when I go back and then I come back into my Rachel body, well, I've learned to have upsight vision, where I can see the hologram of our existence, which is very real because we've created it, but also not not real. We are in a beautiful matrix that we create together. I've been able to see other realities where, dare I say, we're also there at the same time, and able to see that creatures here on earth, like spiders and ants, they can hear us. Trees can see us. I've been able to be privy to all of that. Um, Not because I'm special, but because I've learned to tune in. Not because I'm special, but because I've been given the privilege to teach it out, so we can build our, no, let me say, remember what we've known before. And we've just become so beautifully busy and probably deadline based here, that our priorities have shifted. And we get to come back to what's important, which is relationships and each other. And when we come back to those relationships and each other and what's fundamentally important to us, we're probably remembering our source, where we came from in the beginning, which is truly not a religious God. Not that that's bad, but the religious God was made by all of us, by man, to figure out something that was so huge and wonderful, loving source, big source, that we put too many rules in place and it took us aside. And so we get to pull apart all those rules and get back to source.
Mm. And with everything going on right now, like how do you piece all that together with what's happening in the world around you right now?
Well, and at every level of people's lives, things are pulling apart. which feels like shit. So we've got people are even, they're experiencing anxiety, depression. They may even be experiencing their food doesn't even taste right anymore. Mama
Oh,
Earth is not growing things the way she used to because she's resetting herself. Um, our systems that we found comfort in, the school systems, not working for our children's brains anymore. The church systems, we're getting a feeling that, wow, those stories aren't right, and we don't want to sit there and listen to them anymore. We are challenging our government systems, all the systems that we have said yes to. We're saying no, not only no, but why are they that way? And as we are pulling them apart, we are demanding processes to replace them. And so the processes that we are demanding to be replaced, we we're replacing them with processes. So the angels say, replacing them with processes that are founded in peace. And that peace is not passive, it is active, as if peace and love are now coming up as more verbs, action,
mm,
and not just like there was like a there was this movement where there was art on the wall that says like peace, love, hope, and it was just like
yeah.
decoration that's
Mm.
gone. Now it's like in our blood again. This is who we are. And it's waking up in our DNA that we know how to do that. And it's become a movement, a revolution. And what I thought a few years ago when I saw this happening, what I thought and what I was talking about is it's going to be the children who are born that it's bringing this in. Not untrue, but what they actually did was these children that are being born, they're waking up everybody that's here because all of us that are here know how to do it, but it's been dormant or we've been scared, or there are lots of reasons, but they're waking us up. They are our teachers, but they're waking it up in us. So I thought for a while that we were going to be waiting for these kids to grow up and do it. Wrong. Uh-uh.
Mm.
No, we're doing it now.
Yeah.
And everyone is part of it here. That's the other thing I got wrong is I thought, okay, a lot of people are going to have to like die for it to happen. Everyone here has their part in it, even if it seems like they're against it. No, they have their part. There are
Yeah.
not any people like to talk about NPCs, like non-player characters. That's not even the case either, because like one of my guides is Dolores Cannon, who you mentioned.
Oh,
Love her. She talks about NPCs. Been talking to her about that in the spirit world lately. I asked her about, well, how do you feel about non-players? Are we just having people who are here to like eat, sleep, poop? And she said, I don't think so anymore. I said, well, how do you see them? And she says that they are actually high-level souls who have come back to hold the foundation. They are different now.
they're different now, like they were different before.
Before they were just kind of like, hello, I'm here, like just kind of like carcasses,
Oh,
just there, like they there wasn't much to them, just non-player characters, nothing inside. She says they're behaving that way now, but if you really look deeper, those are the most elevated souls. They're just come here playing, they're here
ah,
playing a part as if they are holding the foundation of the structure because they've already grown. They don't have to do much here for us. They've already done it in another lifetime, another iteration. So, like, what looks like to us, like the people who are here on earth who are not growing at all, and we're looking at them like, gosh, are they ever going to get it? They do. They're just not showing up that way.
yeah.
They're like the cement, they're holding us. And then we have those who look like they're pushing against. Mm-mm. They're not against us. They're the ones who are showing us the fight. They're the ones who are showing us the work that are to be done. They're very sacred. We get to say, yes, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing us where the flashlight needs to be shown. Thank you
Oh,
for reminding us of the mission. Then we have the population that's the great exodus. We have many people, many souls who are deciding to kick it and help from the other side. Thank you to them.
oh, so you mean like exit, like an early type
Exit.
exit. Okay.
I'm out. Yeah.
Oh, so
I
they're
see a
actually
lot of those people.
oh, so like that's interesting because like I heard that like something along those lines like there's like certain souls I guess that are acting as facilitators for other souls to have this type of awakening
Mhm.
process, like kicking it in for them.
Yeah.
And I mean I kind of heard the same thing too with like ND like the NPCs are also facilitators of that. But
Mm.
I never heard that it was like they're actually they're actually souls. They're higher maybe higher level souls or something. And they're just kind of like, we're gonna do this for you guys. That
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Like they're taking one for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and it's kind of weird that you make them sound like they have like they're just kind of like playing like the role of like a pawn, you know?
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. But they chose it.
yeah.
They chose it. And I can see other versions of them on different, like I've visited Soul Exile 13, another iteration of Earth, and I've seen those NPCs, I'm going to say it this way, in their glory, dressed well, eating well, laughing, and then checking on their version of here. And they're saying, oh boy, look at me there. Look at me there.
Um and like they souls actually experience more than one um l- life or existence,
Yes.
right? They actually have multiple lives.
Oh, we do. We're multidimensional. As you and I talk right now, this is like one television station on our television. We're just not watching those other stations. We're not tuned into them. We're just watching this station of you and me. But we have infinite amounts of other television stations that we're on. And when you go to sleep, you have access to all those other stations. Maybe they show up as dreams. And those more lucid dreams, by the way, that my chair's noisy, everybody, and I got a mic on. So don't think that I'm making a lot of body noises. By the way,
Oh, I didn't even hear anything, so
they will. You will hear it with my mic. So depending on, if you're meditating or you're dreaming, you can easily go into those other parallel lives where you look like yourself, but things are just a little bit different. Or sometimes it's a past life, we used to call them, or other lifetimes where you're in a different body costume, different avatar. You can even go into your future self. But yeah, I like to think of them as different TV channels, and you're just not watching them right now, or you don't think you are. There's a part of your consciousness that likely is, but it's too much for us now.
yeah. When when we go to bed at night, doesn't our soul like adventure off?
Yes.
Where would our soul go to? And why does it forget? Does it also forgets coming back into this state, right?
So I'm asking one of the ascended masters. I'm asking Saint Germain actually because he is so amazing at shape shifting and going in and out of bodies. And he's saying, for right now, we forget when we come back in because it's easier. Like we don't feel mentally ill when we come back. It's easier for us to kind of get back in our body and do our thing, take care of our kids, go to work, and physically be in a body, just feel good in a body. So we don't feel, our spirit needs to get back in our toes and get back in our shoulders and just get out of bed, just something like that. But he's also telling me that one of our shared goals here is that, like when I use the words going back to source, that's an expansion of our consciousness. It's not a destination, it's an understanding. And when we understand that we're source again, that amnesia goes away. And we're talking about amnesia from lifetime to lifetime. And also, like when you wake up from a dream, if you were visiting another version of yourself that maybe lives in Egypt or something, you won't have to always forget that. So we're coming to a place in our evolution where by choice you could wake up and say, okay, I would like to integrate where I was in that dream because that was really great. Or say, I went to therapy with my husband in that dream of mine, and that was really helpful. I need to integrate that into my marriage in this wake time instead of forgetting everything. We do have the
Mm.
capability of doing that, but individually, I don't feel ready to do that, quite ready, but at some point I might be.
Mm.
But right now, like I said earlier, we're so deadline based, we're so production based, tethered to multitasking, etc. And so tethered to our ego. Will I do it wrong? Am I going to get lost over there? All these things that maybe we've been told that limit us. We have amnesia. And plus, there are some limits put in to this version of Earth that are connected to the matrix that automatically cause us to have amnesia.
Mm.
And those things will be lifted off at some point as well. And that's a little above my pay grade. I don't know all those things, but some
Mm.
of those things will just be lifted off at some point.
Is it like the dial on that though is like turning slowly because it looks like people are remembering these
They
things.
are. They are. Yeah. That's happening. I feel it. I see it. And that's how I know because watching TikTok and YouTube and, great shows like Next Level Soul,
Mhm.
you creating shows like this, people are waking up and these
Yeah.
people don't know each other and they're speaking common language and having dreams about symbols and each other. And then we have our gifted children who are non speaking and they're all meeting on the hill together and speaking telepathically. You can't make those connections up.
No, like speaking of like next level soul, like his name's Alex, right? He had
Yeah.
his guest on just yesterday or day before, this guy who channels Cryon or something.
Yes, I saw
And
that.
he was saying that what's going on right now is this younger generation, they're starting to create shows like this. And
Mhm.
that he talks about the indigo children. And he's
Mhm.
saying that he said that Alex is just that you're an indigo child too. You're just of that earlier generation. But I'm also of that same age. And I get these synchronicities just don't seem to stop in my life right now. And when he said that, it was like, I now I'm doing this too. And I all and this drive just came out of nowhere. I mean, I knew I was going to be trying this at some point. I knew I had to get things in line first. But it just hit like just now, and then I'm hearing it from this guy, and um, is it kind of like that right now? Like we're kind of like feeding each other to
Yes.
to go through this awakening thing because it's this dream is so dense. Is it like
Yes.
that?
And the density is starting to lift off. And so when you're connected to someone, let's utilize the example of you and Alex. There is a truth where when I look into the hologram and I can look at you and Alex together, what it looks like is honestly, you're the same person. Because when people say the concept of we're all connected, The origination of that is not an idea, it's a truth. And it comes from one spark of life, not a poem or it's something. It's truth. It's one spark of light. And then when that spark opens up, it turns into data. And then I can look at either your spark or Alex's spark, let it divide. It's the same data. And when I watch it divide into, I'm going to look at you, I'm going to look at your lifetime. But see, whether I look at Alex or you doesn't really matter. It's either Alex had a lifetime and you were friends with him, or you had a lifetime, you were friends with Alex. But at some point, you were friends on the playground. Alex decided, I want to play here and also here, so I'm going to divide myself. Or you did. I'm having so much fun, or I want to learn more. I'm going to divide myself. I'm going to divide myself again. And this is how the other lifetime started. You just wanted to learn more because Source wanted to learn more. So when we say we're experiencing each other, it's true. We literally are experiencing each other. And so if we look at it that way, when you are wanting to do a show, it's because you've already done it through Alex. Alex is you doing that show so that you, as part of Alex part of you can do other things in your life because you want to have those experiences first. And also because there are things in your mind, your ego, that you probably said, well, I want to work on this stuff in my personality first before I do that because of A, B, or C. And that version of you wanted to work on other things first. So you're honing these parts of your spirit,
Mhm.
not because you need to, but because you want to. It's never need, it's because desire, so that you can grow. Because who are you? Your source.
And it seems like growth comes from being in these realities that are like this, right? And
Yes.
from what I'm hearing is that this we're leaving this kind of behind and we're moving into a new type of awareness or consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Does it really end here? I mean, does it end here or does it end
No, it
in the
never ends.
universe or is it always going to exist somewhere?
That's the wild thing is this this beautiful growth never ever ends. It's layer upon layer. And every time we decide, we think we die, like, oh, we died. Oh no, it's never that way. It's always a sacred choice. And then think of it like I was just talking to someone a few minutes ago before we got on, and she mentioned it like onion layers. It's good to think of it that way, but infinite onion layers. And when experience is finished, you think, then that onion layer is embedded, not peeled off, but embedded, and you go to the next one. And they keep layering on and on and on. And you have guides, they kind of seem like programmers. And these programmers are extraterrestrial or ultra terrestrial. They're angelic, they're benevolent, they're from all parts of the galaxy that come together. I'll say they're angelic because they are not human, but they're not solely connected to any religion. They're beyond that. Just like if we were to take our skin off, we have had so many incarnations around the whole galaxy. It would be really hard for us to say exactly where we're from,
Hmm.
truly. So every time you're done with a life experience, that onion layer, it anything that you learned goes into the Akashic records for everyone to enjoy. You can also go there and look at any of your records. And then you begin another layer. And that layer can be on Earth if it still exists. It could be on another iteration of Earth. It could be on another planet in another galaxy, because this is an infinite place, but it keeps going. Every time you have a lifetime, you grow. It's not merit based, like good job, cha-ching, level up. It's not like that. It's expansion based. You could go deeper in if you want a deeper experience, like a low vibration experience. There's lots of things to be learned from that. Um, it seems like most people's goal is to move outward or upward and to have a lighter experience, but that might just be our mindset because we're here on Earth. Like it seems like our
Hmm.
mindset is like, okay, let's get out of this place. Let's do something lighter and brighter. But that might just be because we're here.
Hmm.
I don't really know.
Like it's weird because even though I'm doing this and I'm feeling like, oh yeah, I'm like moving into, I guess, a higher vibration and stuff like that. I still catch myself creating dramas with people, you know?
Okay, you're here.
And yeah, and it's funny because like I'll I can be a bully, you know?
Mhm.
And I especially feel like this adrenaline rush when I'm being a bully with somebody who's a bully,
Mhm.
you know? And then I always pull myself away and I start to look at that person in my head. I think that's actually a really good person underneath the hood.
Yeah.
Is it like we're all kind of like, and I'll even say like I saw it this one show or this one she has a channeler who facilitates her show. And on the show, they brought in this guy who had an island where they were doing naughty things in the island. And it turned out that they were saying that when those souls are together, they still have a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah.
We do these things in this reality, but when
Yeah.
we go back to our real reality, we all see each other. We're playing with these energies.
Yeah.
Is that
True.
accurate?
It's accurate. Yeah.
Um,
Nothing here is real.
hmm. So it is safe to say that, like, what you were saying a moment ago, that, we're watching, for example, like these figures and the things they're doing around the world, interacting with each other, and we're calling that one a good one and that one a bad one. There is no good and bad. The bad ones are facilitating us in this journey that we're on right now, right? We're all working together towards this
Yes.
goal of where we're going.
Yes, that's technically correct. Now, what we don't want to fall into is dismissing the the crime that happens here. We still need to be respectful of it and reroute it here on Earth, because that's another reason why we're here. Because originally, why we created Earth this way, to have low frequency opportunities, is because we as souls needed and wanted to have a place where we had a place to incarnate, to experience the diversity of vibrations, because there are many places to incarnate where it's just neutral vibration or high vibration. So to be well balanced in what we could learn and feel, Earth is one of those places where we could come and know where to shine the flashlight. We needed a low vibrational frequency place. As we've had incarnations here on Earth and different iterations of Earth, there have been populations like the reptilian population that works with the world order. That's true. By this point, people know it's true. Where that original formula of simply having negative and positive, light and dark, has gotten corrupted. And so here on Earth, it's too much. Instead of just having a fractal of it so we could appreciate the texture of the dark, it's imbalanced. So, one of the things that we are doing is we're helping people remember you don't have to be so tempted by it. You don't have to fall into the dark, because when you fall into the dark, it lengthens your amnesia. You can get stuck in those onion layers that are too dark, and you can get caught into a reincarnation trap. So instead of choosing with free will choice, this is the end of my life, and we're talking, it would be your higher self saying, all right, my physical body is done. I am free to go back to source. I'm free to choose in the galaxy where I go. Instead of that, you would go into the light, and then you would come right back into what we would call an energy farm. Yeah.
What's
So
that?
it's basically what's happening mostly on Earth right now, which is many people here who have created an amnesia effect where we have the humans here, on all of us in our physical form, when we are on either end of the spectrum, feeling extreme joy or ecstasy or extreme fear or pain, the energy of that, the louche energy, is being siphoned and used for an energy source. So when we see some extreme crime, like on Epstein Island, a lot of that is being used for energy. And that has been something that's been disclosed recently in some of the files. So when we talk about things that are stranger than fiction, and we talk about some of the extraterrestrial files that are coming out, those are the things that are being rerouted by spirit, by some of the benevolent extraterrestrials. Um, these are some of the things that were shown to me in my near-death experiences that would be rerouted, and they are being rerouted. Um, and these reroutings are part of the systems that are being reconstructed, because at the depth of these systems are power. And what we get to learn here is that when we created Earth, we can say it as a simulation, because the simulation helps us remember that we are in charge of it. There's no government or world order that created the simulation. We did as a people.
Mhm.
But when something is running so well, it wants to be taken over by someone. Like, it looks like a great business model, right? Well, it did get taken over, and we are now taking it back. And something is a great business model and has a great resource, it got taken over because the reptilian population, they were once looking for gold, and Earth has gold as one of its resources. But when they came here to look for gold, they also found that humans are a great resource because we emanate energy. We emanate energy because all of us on the inside of our made human body, we are all from somewhere in the galaxy. And when we learn to put our vibrational frequency into this form, we did it so well that when we are mostly in love or mostly in fear, which we came here to experience, it emanates this louche energy, and it feeds the reptilian population. And so, as you spoke so well, that we're all waking up, and the way we seem to be waking up to the fact that we were being siphoned, is that people were starting to feel like, I feel like I'm being listened to, not just on my phone, but I mean, I feel like I'm being listened to. People were starting to hear voices in their head, not like feeling crazy, but literally they would hear someone say something in their head that was like, I heard it once in my house. I heard someone say, the family is now sleeping. Or I heard we were being remote viewed, things like that. People were starting to wake up to things like that, or they were having, people are starting to see reptilians in front of them and their eyes would change, or they would see reptilians lose their detection. Um, and that tells us, this has been in the last 2 to 3 years specifically, tells us that their power has been shifting away because we are waking up. And when we know what we're seeing, they can't hide it anymore. So, part of my job as an angel incarnate, which specifically means that both of my parents, earth parents, were my vehicle to get here. I'm pure angel inside, my DNA, physical. If you cut me, I bleed. But inside, my DNA is angel. I'm a seraphim. And what I do here is I wait for people to wake up gently on their own, and then I hold their hand as they wake up. I don't preach. I have gone to seminary. I am a preacher. So I know the Bible very well, and I know when it's true and when it's not, all of that. But that's not my job. I just wait for people to be ready, and then I give them clarity. I give them messages as they're ready. And I've been given messages about what's happening in the world my whole life, and it's starting to unfold. And I work with different people, agencies around the world when I need to, and um, keep myself as safe as I can, and work with different extraterrestrial councils, angelic councils, ascended masters. And I made a deal with Source and I said, okay, if this is what you're asking me to do, prove it, make sure that I'm okay, and lay it out for me because this is really, really strange. And I want to be able to do it authentically without holding back. Because if this is true and we are in a simulation and this is what we're here to do, let's do it. And here we are. And also I have to go to the grocery store and raise my kids and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
this is where we
Did
are.
you make that deal back when you were 4 years old?
No, I made it about 15 years ago when I was a school teacher
Mm.
because I was in this place where I could see all of these. I was teaching fifth through 12th grade music. And I was watching all of these kids who were so brilliant, but they didn't know how to fit. And I myself was teaching them during the day and then going home and being my psychic self at night, living a double life. And it was really hurting me. So
Mm.
I just said one day, look, if this is it, you want me to do this, you've got to show me.
Yeah.
And I remember that day that I felt like my classroom shifted. I felt a shift, like the room went plunk,
Mm.
and things started to pull apart in my life in a it was like a movie actually, because everything started to fall apart in a way that I should have been scared, but I wasn't. Everything was moving for me,
Mm.
and everything started to pull apart and then come back together in a way where I thought, my life is completely turning around. And it just worked. It just worked. And everything changed for me. So it's kind of like that movie, The Secret, for me, where it's like miracles happen for me every single day. It just fell into my lap.
Yeah, I can.
So
No, I
that's
can relate to that. I mean, I thought I was going crazy at one point, and I remember sitting up when like I got to a point where I was like, I said out loud, I was like, okay, if this shit doesn't happen next year, if this particular
yeah.
events don't happen, I'm gonna admit myself into a psych ward. And I was
Yes.
dead serious. And
Yes.
and right after I said that out loud, it was like all these flashes of all these synchronicities that happened. They kind of added all up. And the next thought had was, I'm not learning this. I'm remembering all this.
Remembering.
And I hadn't heard anybody say that. And I've been watching all these content creators, and it's like it was like 2 days later, all of a sudden I'm watching them all and they're all now using that word remembering.
Yes.
And it was like that. It was like a shift took place. And I seem to get that shift a lot when I hit these moments like, I'm done with this, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because I think we have those onion layers within the lives too. We're done and then it like absorbs in and then we're ready for the next layer.
um, so I don't, everything you just said, man, I had a lot of questions, but I do have this one that when I think of like the angels, um, like I heard that there was like there was a war that was happening in the heavens, and it was over the war was about confusion. And that war, there was a divine choice that tilted it in a certain direction. And then now what you're seeing on Earth is an extension of that war, but here it's over power and greed. Um, when they say like there's like a divine choice, what does that mean? Like divine? What is that source making an ultimate choice? But then there's different timelines, right, that do exist. So source is making all these different choices at the same time, and how does that all work? Like,
It's never source making a choice, honestly. I'll say that first because source is not a decision maker. Source is pure energy. It would be when we talk about a God that makes a choice, we're talking about the religious God. And that is a real God. It's when I was little, the angels taught me that it was big God, small God. Big God is the original God. And then small God, you could call small God the demiurge. And small God came from big God. And that's the God that the religious people created, the one that belongs in church. Totally great. Um, and so when we talk about the the war you're speaking of, that has to do with religious God. And the councils are helping people decide how they find their love. Is it assertion or aggression? And how do they fit in that? So it's a war of consciousness. It's a and identity. How do they identify? And where do they find that identity? And we are helping people do it without um, bloodshed. There will be death and blood, but the outcome is supposed to be moving into generations where we don't have to fight, we don't have to kill each other to find our identity. That's one of the systems that's breaking, and that one will take a while. And it is true that Earth will always be a place for war. That's one of the fundamental constructs of Earth. It's always been that way. That's one of the things we come here to experience. But it's also one of those things that got stretched too much war on Earth. So we have to understand war will always be here. Hunger will always be here. Crime will always be here. We're pulling it back. So war is just one of the tools here. But one of the things that's being reworked from the other side, from the heavenly dimension that you spoke of, is that we're helping people understand that the battle is between who do you think owns you? No one. You own yourself. So
mm.
it's the battle of consciousness.
And there's like this like talk about how we're going back to like Lemuria. Is that familiar?
Yeah. Um, People will have a choice to rehome themselves. So there's, uh, let me see if I have permission to share this. Use my rods for a minute. Share this. Okay, I can. At some point in the next, okay, what's the timeline? It's next 5 years. In the next 5 years, people will experience massive ships coming to Earth. Massive. These ships will be as big as 2 football fields easily. And people will be taken up in the ships gently. They'll float up on their backs. And this will be by choice. People will get to go back to their places of origin. Their places of origin are where they first lived after they were created by Source. And this will happen within the next 5 years because, and some will choose to stay here because Earth will be well. Mama Earth is healing, and this will help the population of Earth. And then these massive ships will be here to help people go back to home. Lemuria comes in, some other planets. And they said that's actually what you're referring to.
Hmm. Okay.
And some people will actually live on the ships. Some of the ships are homes as well. The outside of the ships look um, they're a metal. They look dark gray, but the inside is like sunshine. There's green grass inside. They're beautiful. And some of the ships that you live on are larger than what I spoke about. They look like they could be as big as Dubai. Gorgeous.
How do does like the angelic realm interact with like the ET physical reality?
Easily because it's all vibration. So you can think of it 2 ways. Just like here, right here, right now, it feels like we're here in physical form. We're not. This is all vibration. What they taught me when I was little is that this is haptic vibration. So when I first came back from my near-death experience at 4, something that was really strange is for about 2 weeks, I would get stuck in a wall. I could move things. And that was not pleasant for me because it would happen in the middle of the night. And one time in particular, I got up in the middle of the night and I was sleepwalking and I woke up and I was stuck in the hallway, like my body half in the hallway, half in my bedroom. And when I woke up, I didn't know what to do. So I just tried to hiccup or sneeze. And as soon as I did that, it was like a lightning crack. And I was in the hallway. And it was so loud that it woke my dad up. And he came out into the hallway. What the hell? And I thought I was in trouble because I thought I broke the house. But he saw me in the hallway and he thought that I got scared because of the noise. And he said, "Oh, it's just a thunder, just thunder. Go back to bed. It's okay. You want to sleep in our room?" Oh, I was so relieved I wasn't in trouble. So then when I was sleeping in my parents' bed, I heard the angel say in my mind that everything is by touch. They told me later this is haptic. Everything is by touch. So nothing is there until you need it. Nothing is here until you need it, till you want to touch it. Nothing appears until the moment you want to touch it. If we just believe it's there, so we see it. And then Dolores Cannon said the same thing, that our house isn't there. A building isn't there till we drive up to it. We just expect it to be.
Mhm.
So like my beautiful cat, my house is always here for my cat because my cat's an indoor cat. But For me, it's not here unless I work from home. That is beyond belief to me. That hurts my brain, but I understand it because I got stuck in a wall.
Yeah.
I could move right through it. Now, as I got older, I couldn't walk through that wall. No way. Because I started to believe, like, nah, there's no way. That didn't happen. But everything is haptic. It's not there till we touch it.
There's like this geometric shape called the flower of life. When
Yes.
I think of reality like that, I think I kind of visualize it as the flower of life, right? That's the flower of life is a geometric shape that was used by the Lemurians, right?
Hmm. Yes.
To help to I guess it was like a kind of like a decoration type thing that they would it was like a cultural thing and they would use that to help them remind them in their daily life that this is the kind of reality you're in at this moment. Is that right?
Yeah, but you know where they put it? They put it in the
Oh,
prison.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
So when they really wanted to travel, they would open up the sides of it. So if you
what?
imagine the flower of life like this,
Yeah.
you can't get out of it. But when they would want to travel, they would open up the petals.
Oh, what does that
Yeah.
mean? I mean,
Well, if you,
open.
okay, let me see if I can draw it. This is going to be really messy. Okay, imagine the flower of life. I'm just going to draw a circle
Huh?
and imagine the flower of life has all of its goodness inside. Okay.
Okay.
You can't get out of it. So in Lemuria, when we go there, this is safe. You're in. No matter where you go, you're in. So we
Okay.
can use this to stay in and stay safe or to keep captured. But in Lemuria, whenever I'm there, this is like, and I want to use my passport, or if I want to travel in and out, we open up the boundaries. It looks like this.
Whoa.
The flower of life blooms.
And is that opening, is that like can be in different forms, like an NDE or something?
Anything you want. It can be an NDE, it can be a meditation. In
Ah,
Lemuria, it can be a walking path. There's a place in the center of the square that is in the flower of life. There is a fountain, and then around the flower of life, there is a gate around it, and then the gate is closed. But at any time you can open it. And we have these festivals there, and then
oh,
like every year we kind of open it up, and then we meditate around there. We give offerings and stuff, and when it's open, it's kind of like here on earth when we say, oh, it's the April 8th, it's the Lionsgate portal, stuff like that. We'll say,
oh
oh,
yeah.
it's open gate.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
crazy.
just yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
I always notice that when somebody mentions Lemuria, I always check in. I'm like, I wonder if that flower of life is open. And the thing is, I don't really ever see the flower of life drawn openly here. It's like it didn't translate here. I never see it drawn openly. And Archangel
yeah.
Metatron, he's always he's always restitching it. He's always opening it up and restitching it because he
Huh.
always works with sacred geometry, right? So that's always interesting because he's always trying to open it back up. But I wanted to mention that for anybody who's listening who works with the flower of life. And I also noticed that the reptilians utilize that to get people back into the reincarnation trap. Yeah, they'll lay it over us. Sneaky little poops.
Um, so like this is probably one of my last questions. It looks like we're hitting that point. Are you familiar with the movie called Astral City?
No. Let me write it down.
Um, so like it's this guy, he dies and he goes into Astral City. And and I think Dolores talked about him, how there was like the lower astral, mid astral, and upper astral. Mid astral, I think she says, is where the heavens are at. Um, I mean, I was just going to ask you if you can decipher some of that, you know?
I can see it. Hmm. Angels, what do you all think about that? Do you feel that's accurate? They say yes. What they're saying is that there are so many ways to describe the dimensions, the densities, the vibrations, and they just want to make sure that when we're talking about the galaxy, the universe, that everything is right here with us. Everything's a vibration. And then one of the angels is touching like this part of us right here, like an amulet. It's all right here. We have access to every part of the galaxy in us. It's all so small. It feels so big, but it's all so small because it's vibration. And if we could really learn to meditate through our imagination, whatever meditation works for us, especially those of us with busy minds, that's great because you know you have all of that information in there. You don't have to worry so much about going so quiet. Just have more meetings with yourself. This vibration of, let's say, the heavenly realm, if you could press into it and realize that this is like your remote control, and that when you press into it, you're changing the vibration of your avatar, you're changing the vibration of your room. Well, then you're there. It's not like you have to go somewhere to the astral plane. No, change where you are now. She's the angel saying, be more Star Trek about it. Beam
Hmm.
me up, Scotty, she said. It's more like that because yes, you can change from different astral planes, but the angel is saying, bring up more home to you, change your vibration. Because if this is a simulation, and yes, it is, then it's a simulation because we're all vibrational beings. So change the vibration, change where you are. So, yes, the angels are saying, yes, they agree with the different astral planes. Yes. But to get there, you're already there. Work on changing our vibrations wherever we want to go. We want to go to Lemuria. All right. Close your eyes. This is the GPS. So place the hand there, or the fingers there, press in gently and start repeating Lemuria, Lemuria, Lemuria. And then if you start thinking about grocery list, okay, Lemuria, bring it back, Lemuria, Lemuria. And if music helps, great. If you need a scent in the room, some incense or a candle or something, okay, go for that. And then just practice that. And then it'll be, if you want to shift to, oh, I want to call in my grandpa, 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 I want to visit with my grandpa. It's a different vibration. You want to call in a childhood memory. Okay, elementary school, elementary school. Change the vibration. You can do anything, go anywhere. You want to heal your headache? Okay, brain, time to heal is what they're showing me. Everything is vibration because then you become the programmer of
Yeah.
the simulation.
Yeah, I was just thinking like that sounds probably what people are doing when they're or something similar when they're doing quantum jumping, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Hmm. Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Male voice. Exactly.
Oh. I'm gonna start quantum jumping now because
Too. I'm going to write that down.
um yeah, so any way you want to wrap this up, I'll let you finish
Just
it
so
off.
grateful. Just so grateful to spend time with you. And oh, I suppose
Thank
I
you.
should say if people want to connect with me, should be a grown up. People want to connect with me. My website is my name,
Yeah.
rachelcorpus.com. Also, you can repeat my name. And I mentioned the hill earlier. I'm usually there. If you want to meditate, I'm there. I don't go there on Friday nights. That's my night off, or Sundays during the day. But if people want to meditate and talk to me there, I'm always there on the hill.
Which city is that?
It's just in the heavenly realm.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
always there. It's like where Jesus talks to the children. Yeah,
Okay.
that grassy
Nice.
hill. But not Friday nights or Sunday. I'm always there, except for those times. And my
Okay.
website, people want to get a hold of me there. Yeah, but it's just been so lovely to meet you and talk to
Yeah, same
you.
here. Awesome.
Yeah,
I can't wait to have you on again
yeah, anytime.
as we progress into this. I
Onion
don't know.
layers.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yay.
here we go.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'll stop for now. Thank you. Just here,
Take
hold
care.
on. Here, hold on. Hold on. Let me see.